because you
Yeah.
have so much cohesion. That's something that I want to see out of George Mason today.
Well, that's something that's so important. As we do get into the picks and bans, we'll cover these in a second. Something so important to the collegiate scene in general is that there's no right way to play the game. There's nothing set in stone as much necessarily in the pro meta. It can be a team with great macro can win it over a mechanical team every time. That said, then there's the other side of that coin. Some teams are just so mechanically talented and can just smash lanes so heavily that it really doesn't matter who they're going up against. And so it's an interesting sort of landscape we have going on through some League of Legends. But I want to talk about the bandscape actually, because those are coming out pretty quickly. Zach and Zaya down for George Mason. They'll be polishing off their third. It is Skarner, Swain, and Olaf on the other side of things for Texas A&M.
Yeah, a lot of focus on the jungle right now. Very powerful. Is the Skarner, is the Olaf. Take that Predator, able to run in your face. Sometimes we used to see Olaf way back in the day take Ghost for his summoner spell. Now with Predator, you don't even have to do that. You have so much speed, and along with that in Righteous Glory, you can actually take Flash. So Pop the Ragnarok, he's almost completely unstoppable, but they're going to go and take that one away. Sejuani being the roundout band for George Mason. That's actually 4 junglers taken off the map, along with Swain and Zaya. Two big power players. Caitlyn being locked in for Texas A&M, going to look to be relatively safe in that bot side, but also just dish out a lot of damage, a lot of surprise damage if you can land those traps. We're going to see who Chuck Normus is able to pick up for get for a support here. So with the new patch, we are on the latest patch, mind you. I'm thinking we're going to be seeing a lot of playmaking supports, because top lane, I feel like that with the Conqueror rune is going to be a little bit more of aggressive lane now. No more of those big beefy tanks. I suspect to see more Fioras, Rivens, Renekton's, things like that.
Well, if it does come down to Ion versus Boycold, that will be a very interesting matchup indeed, running down top. Chuck Normus on the Caitlyn, a lot of priority there for the AD. Both ADs picked up first round of the draft for each team. It is the Tom Kench to make sure that Jin stays nice and safe. So Alex and Enrique there going to be playing a distance-focused bot lane that's just going to spit out a good bit of damage from the backside of things. Now the Gangplank locked in over and away for Boycold in that top lane, and Glory no doubt taking that Jarvan into the jungle. So jungle priority pretty big, seeing as how heavily it was target banned from both sides. Jarvan, no surprise there. That means there are 6 picks now off the table at a minimum for George Mason in the jungle. We'll see what else, they continue. We'll see if it gets stacked up anymore in the ban phase as we do get into the second round of bans. And it's Vladimir taken off the table. George Mason don't want to see that.
No, they don't want to see. They don't want to see the Vladimir. They don't want to see that sustained in the mid lane. The Gangplank actually technically could flex mid. We're going to see if they decide to take that top. That still is a pretty traditional top laner. But again, with the Conqueror, you could even see a more aggressive top laner. Gangplank wouldn't benefit hugely from that. They are going to take away one of the aggressive top laners, that being Jax, as he can take advantage of that new rune very well. If anyone doesn't know what that new rune does, over 3 seconds of fighting, you get, I think that was it, 20% of your damage on the first hit is actually converted to true damage, which is a huge
That's
amount.
Insane.
Yeah, come into mid to late game, that thing is going to be huge. But we're gonna see what else is being taken off the board here. Braum being the last ban for George Mason. Texas A&M, they have to think hard about this one. This is actually a crucial game. This may be the most important game for any of the players in the semifinals, because if you make it past the semifinals, you're guaranteed another chance if you don't get into the championships. But semifinals, you're knocked out, you're done. You can still go on and lose in the finals and still get into the play-ons, still have a chance into the finals. So this is arguably probably the most important match for either of these teams.
Quite literally do or die. Now the Nocturne, something we've been seeing teased around today. It was played earlier by Lord's University, I want to say, Hyami in that jungle. So no surprise that the Collegiate Nocturne is back here to stay on this patch. Now we'll see what they can come back in with, because it is the mid lane counter pick left open for George Mason. Should indicate a safer mid lane pick coming out of the side of Texas A&M. This is generally where we'd start to see the Orianas and so forth get picked up. But it's all down to what Mr. Black Panda feels like he can gel well with this team composition. He has a lot of options. There's a lot of engage tools coming out with just the Jarvan, potentially the Cannon Barrage from Gangplank as well. We'll see if they round it together with a heavy engage mid or something a little bit different, because I know that there are some change-ups. Zed's looking a little bit tastier on this particular patch. might be a tempting pick. But no, the Oriana playing it safe. No huge surprise there. So we'll see now what route decides to counter pick with.
Yeah, if Texas A&M would have went a Z, that would have left them with no AP option on their side and allowed George Mason to prioritize very easily against that team. So they're going to opt for the Oriana and just sort of more of a passive, more of a utility mid that can also make plays with the flag and drag from Glory 9, Glory IX if you want to get that route. But Victor being picked up for a route over on George Mason, control mage, wave clear, very nice. I do like that, especially against Oriana, who can go ahead and who can clear waves pretty easily herself, but also Victor has a nice amount of CC with that gravity well, along with also a silence, which a lot of people don't think about. And silence isn't going to be a huge factor here. It's actually not a silence now that I think about it. It's a channel disruptor, similar to how Cassident's Q works. Not really going to be seeing too much of that here, but it is a nice ultimate to do just lay down and again control the field. That is something that George Mason is looking to do in that mid lane.
Well, George Mason has a lot of options, especially coming into picks with this particular composition. The Nocturne Ultimate, the Darkness, just to give them the opportunity to backline Tom Kench somewhere secretly. If he swallows up the Gnar or potentially the Victor, depending on what the options are and how low the health bars are from Texas A&M, they have some really good options at their disposal this particular matchup. That said, it's kind of a hard to execute composition, all things done right, because they want to be able to blow up Chuck Norris on the Caitlyn. They want to be able to blow up Mr. Black Panda on the Oriana. It'll take a little bit more time to do it to the likes of Glory 9 or Boy Cold, but those options are there as well. It's just going to be a matter of making sure they come prepared well enough to make it all happen. Now, looking at these two compositions, Fekez, we got a lot of potential. What lane would you say you want to keep your eye on the most here, just to see if you were going to guess tilting the score here, the scales here in the game? Do you put it to a matchup here? Do you put it to a particular player? What are your thoughts?
I mean, the matchup is going to be interesting no matter, but as far as lane focus, I do want to look at the bot lane. Chuck Norris, he's been on Texas A&M for quite a long time. I would suspect that he at this point is almost a captain on that team. I can't say he's a captain, but he is the comfort pick on, or the comfort player on Texas A&M. He is the one that's been the most comfortable, been there the longest, and more than likely, he's been this route numerous times regional champion. He's danced this dance plenty of times. You would think that they want to put a little bit more of the eggs in the basket of Chuck Norris here in order to get them going. And again, maybe just boost the confidence of Texas A&M, saying, hey, we can do this again this year. Let's go.
Absolutely the case. Well, we'll see how that all breaks down before too long here. I think there's a lot of options. They've drafted a nice composition on the side of George Mason to keep Chuck Norris on the back foot. Now, there's a lot of range from Caitlyn. That is the good news, but it can be really, really hard to just get in against the likes of a Victor and Jin spitting out the damage, and then the front line of a Tom Kench Gnar with Nocturne flexing all the way in between. So that's his work cut out for him, but the support options are there for him as well. Jarvan should be making that one pretty easy with the engaged Tarek as well. I'm pretty excited to see this one all unfold, especially just if we get to the point of chaotic team fights and just, bloody knuckles all across the rift.
Yeah, and that's actually a Tarek. I want to talk about that a little bit too, because Nocturne's picked up. He got a little bit of a buff to his paranoia, a little bit on the damage, and I believe ratios as well. Not a huge deal for Nocturne, but he has been picked up a couple times. EULCS, or no, I don't even know if the EULCS, but it was by Team Liquid. Dardoch ended up somewhat feeding on him. Huh?
Dardoch is on Echo Fox right now.
Is he? Oh, okay, Team Liquid. Yeah, he's on Team Liquid. I don't pay attention to pro scene that much, man. I pay attention to Adrian.
Liquid is Smithy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I pay attention to collegiate players who go up there, but other than that, it's just kind of lost on me. Might be either way. Dardoch, he did play Nocturne, fed on him. I do know that because it was a big meme for a second. Yeah, seeing that this time around. Now the thing is that Pro Play, they're on a patch behind. We're here on the current patch. Yep. So, he did. Yeah, Nocturne, he got a little bit of a buff. Not a huge thing, but the thing with him is that if he does try to ult into the bot side onto Chuck Norris, Tarek, once he sees that darkness, he can cast Cosmic Radiance very quickly and pretty much negate a lot of the attention, a lot of the pressure that Firefly can put on the bot side. I'm anxious to see how that, especially if they do keep the information alive and scout out where Nocturne is, because that is the key to predicting where he's going to go with his paranoia.
Absolutely the case. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we do load into the game, we got a little bit of information to share with you all just about CSL, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. If you're watching the Collegiate League of Legends go down, you think you want to get your school a little bit more involved in some potential collegiate esports, Discord is a great way to keep up with us. !Discord in the chat. That should get you all the information you need. Keep up with us and what we're doing on Twitter, twitter.com/CStarLeague, also twitter.com/CSLLOL if you're just interested in the league specifically focused content. Facebook.com/CStarLeague. Want to give a huge shout out to Twitch as well. Nothing but gratitude for the largest streaming platform in all of competitive gaming to support us in our constant esports endeavors. From things like PAX East and West, the CSL wouldn't be what we are today without their continued help and support. So be on the lookout for cool ways to get involved with them in the near future. Twitter.com/Twitch, Facebook.com/Twitch, Twitch.tv. It's where you are right now. Also, YouTube. You could potentially be on YouTube. You can find us there. That's going to be youtube.com/user/CStarLeague. And that'll get to where all of our VODs are available if you want to come back and watch this game. If you can't watch them all live, we understand. We'd just love to see you around someday. But with that, we're into the Rift.
Yeah, we're here. Line of scrimmage being drawn. Nothing too big going down right now. No words being placed at the moment, but it looks like Tamu does want to get a little bit of information. They are pushing forward just a little bit, although Boycole does back off. No, it's actually really surprising when I don't see wards being dropped in the early going, because that's a pretty big indicator of where the jungle path is going to start, and then you can predict where they're going to go, things like that.
Sure.
We might be seeing something here finally as Boycold and Glory make their way over into the jungle of Firefly.
Yeah, looks to be the case. Route now taking a good bit of damage on the chin, but I think it is going to be Glory and Boycold just running on out of there. The Aggies don't want to get too crazy with this one just yet. So they will have the ward down. They will know whether or not Firefly does indeed start that red buff. It seems all but determined at this point in the game and should lead to pretty standard lane starts otherwise. We'll see particularly now how that affects Ione in the top lane against Boycold, because Gnar Gangplank, an interesting matchup to say the least. We'll see if they can turn it into any advantages there for any team, because it looks like Firefly will be starting gank in the bot side if he's starting on his top side jungle. Same is true there for Glory in the other direction. Starting on the bottom means he will be around the top at level 3. He might just want to run into route here. This is actually pretty intense.
Woo!
Does get pinged out, but the flash is there. He flashes in himself.
Gonna get that?
And look at that damage. Are you kidding me? That is insane. Level 1 play. Level 2 now, thanks to Glory. But holy cow. What an early rotation. He just picked that one up like it was nothing. Route was caught entirely by surprise and now doesn't have a flash.
Massive win for Tamu with that, just within the minute. Yeah, he even got a flash out of Route, like you said. First blood, that and an assist over the Black Panda. A huge amount of aggression by Glory 9, and it paid off when it didn't look like it should have, really, but he knew the exact amount of damage he was going to get out of his red buffed. No, that wasn't even. He didn't even have red buff, did he? I don't think he even had. He might have had buff. I don't know. He did not.
Yeah, he had his own red buff. Glory 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had his own red buff. That's how he got to level 2. Then he came to lane, used the red buff to slow Route, followed him through the flash, and that's how he got all the damage down. I think that's so big, particularly too for Mr. Black Panda, just to get this nice CSing start here with the assist gold. I mean, that's not going to be the biggest thing in the world, but he's already up 300 gold over his laning opponent.
It's not even that. I mean, at this point, this early in the game, especially pre-6, the gold, yeah, it's pretty negligible. I mean, you want to get your first items a little bit faster, but that means Black Panda is going to be a level ahead. He's going to have quite the experience advantage over Route, which means he can hit level 6, get the combos up a little bit earlier, not to mention shove faster in the mid lane and roam to the bot side if they want to go that route. So there's a lot of options that just blew wide open for Mr. Black Panda, thanks to Glory's aggression.
Yeah, very much the case there. And now it's buying the rest of Texas A&M, you know, a little bit of clear power here on the map. You can see that George Mason pushed up in that bot lane, but thought, hey, you know what? Let's go get some wards down across the rest of the area just to make sure that, you know, we don't have a potentially scary Jarvan coming in. Now, he doesn't necessarily have any of the items to show for the first blood going on there, so hasn't pulled that one out yet. Does need to take some time to just catch up on the farm. He's got the blue buff now, and so he's finishing, actually just now finishing his first full clear of the map. So did set him back a little bit in terms of the CS. Obviously the kill is going to make that so much more worth it. But with all that top to bottom, it allowed George Mason to get some nice wards around the dragon area. Infernal Drake early. We might see some scrimmaging for that.
Maybe seeing a little bit of aggression. No, it's not going to happen. Yeah, Infernal Drake is going to be obviously always contested as as Drakes go. The Cloud Drake may say it's going to be a little bit left alone, just a little bit, but that Infernal Drake is highly contested due to the damage percent increase.
Yeah.
Of course, it gets stronger as the game goes on. Early game, it's not super important, but you do want to just keep it away and secure your position into the mid to late game when you get those items, and those percentages end up stacking up a little bit more. A lot of aggression being put onto the bot side from Tamu's ADC and support as they shove up. Maybe looking to go back pretty soon. They don't really have too much, or at least they're actually shoving up to establish vision control. Seeing that Firefly maybe hitting level 5 or level 6 pretty soon. They want to get that vision control, make sure that they can counter the paranoia.
Gotta have it as early as possible, but look at this. Route in some trouble here. Glory getting stunned up so close to the turret, but did not step in, does get feared back, but now Firefly all alone in here, doesn't care too much as he will find Glory 9 regardless. Black Panda, nothing to help out his jungler there. So the junglers have each respectively taken a kill now as we sit 1-1. Firefly with a good protection of Route. Route has had to burn the heal for that, but I think that's absolutely a worthwhile trade. Glory went down at a critical time, and pretty good return now from George Mason University.
Yeah, and that means that Firefly is, again, back, a nice return, get back into this game with his team. Going to help Route as well. Recover a little bit, relieve some of that pressure in the mid lane. Route is now going to farm to his heart's content. He did use his heal on that one, so he is going to be summoners down, but so did Mr. Black Panda. With that being said, a little cheeky play coming out from Alex on the bot side. There's not much you can do as a Tom Kench hiding in the bush. You have to get 3 auto attacks to really make this effective. 2 in a tongue lash if you want to get that route. But Firefly on the bot side.
Yeah, they want to come in. There is the tongue lash, only hitting Chuck Normus, the furthest one back, and gets stunned up for it in the meantime. But look at that. They're going to root up Holy Slurp. They should be able to devour him here, but he does actually catch up on the Caitlyn trap, and that will hold him back for the time being. So they will just disengage. Nothing blown summoner-wise from either side. A potion or 2 maybe consumed here and there, but not the biggest deal in the world. Holy Slurp wants to deny the back, but the minions will do more damage. Actually, calls a bluff as Enrique and Alex say, you know what, we're not quite ready to back off this one just yet. They know backing here would give absolute Dragon priority over to the side of Texas A&M.
Yeah, Firefly actually did back off onto that one as well, so yeah, they are just going to just play it out a little bit slower, stay and get a few more minions as we see Chuck Normus going back along with the Holy Slurp. So they're going to back all together this time, and that's something that I think they prefer on the outside of George Mason again. So like you said, they don't give over that Dragon priority. Looks like Glory is not too much into position to really contest it right now, but Firefly, he's level 6. This is where it really matters when you're a Nocturne. We're going to see some aggression on the top side, though.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be Ion coming in, getting the stun down now onto Boycole, but his health bar is not outstanding itself, and not too much to go back with.
Woo!
Look at this Firefly coming in, though. Does have the ultimate on. Are you kidding me? That damage was insane, but it may not be done yet. I don't think Glory's going to go in for this. He'll think better of it and say, look, couldn't get there in time, sorry. And Boycold goes down for nothing. George Mason keeping this an even game gold-wise as they do get that kill and scrap it right back to tie.
Yeah, very nice placement by Firefly in the right place at the right time with his ultimate up available still. Able to tower dive that one. The Duskblade Drakthor kind of got nerfed, but you don't obviously need that all the way with Firefly, and of course, again, he did get a nice buff onto his ultimate Paranoia, so that initial impact does hurt a little bit more, and Boycold being so low, knew that was going to be enough, along with his just overall burst that you have whenever you have to throw out the Q and the auto attacks upon landing, so very nicely played by Firefly, and he was also countering Glories there, but a little skirmish on the bot side.
In the bot lane. Look at that slurp. He tried to eat him up, and he couldn't. And there's a pause.
There's a pause.
Chuck Normus says he is lagging, is the official word for that. Not sure how we're going to fix that one out, but they pause mid-fight. And that's a tense situation, as it does look like actually Holy Slurp in some real trouble here.
Yeah.
Alex does have the flash up. He cannot devour him, but the tongue lash, let me check. I can't click to check the cooldown on that. Yes, I can, actually. So, looks like tongue lash should be available any second when he comes out of this pause. So if he decides to flash tongue lash for that, that could be a kill definitely taken out onto the Holy Slurp. Chuck Normus will have the time to spit damage back out onto Enrique, but with both summoners up, I think this has the potential to be a free kill for George Mason. We'll see what they do about this lag issue. I mean, what's his solution here? Is he going to go reset his router, restart League? I don't know.
I talk about what you can do in League in the client. I have no idea what he wants to do about hardware. What an inconvenient place to be frozen, though, right in the middle of a fight, which you don't see that too often. Usually, the fight happens, they let it go, they let it finish, and then we see the pause. But Enrique, he does have the exhaust on him, so Enrique, he actually might. Yeah, he'll probably pick up. He more than likely is going to pick up the Holy Slurp. Holy Slurp does have flash though, but so does Enrique, and he has heal. We're going to see what happens in about 3 seconds. Here you go.
Yeah, they're coming down. So what's going to be the case for this one? They do flash forward. Alex wants it. It's a flash out immediately by Holy Slurp, but the Ignite ticks him down, and Enrique with his flash in secures the kill indeed. Chuck Normus unable to save his support in that case, and really was just great aggressive play from Enrique and Alex. One thing I want to touch on really quickly is it was Glory who made the pause. So Chuck Normus must have called it pretty quickly. Glory must have made it happen very. That's the right way to play it, right? To say, hey, the jungler, the one who's not active in the macro right here, or the micro play right now rather, should be the one to pause the game when need be. Should net now George Mason the Dragon, and they're having an incredible start to this early game. Just things seem to be going right. There was the cheeky gank. Glory wants in, wants to steal. Not going to be the case. Firefly eaten up and away. Alex, maybe the second time we've seen him not devour the right target. I don't know if that was intentional or not to pick up Firefly, but regardless of the case, does mean that they just push on through. Have the Infernal Drake to their name now. And not a bad first 10 minutes for the side of George Mason University.
No, not at all. For the first Drake of the game, that being Infernal, so that's going to pay dividends of going into the mid-game and late game whenever they have their big items, increase that percentage even more, or make use of that percentage even more, I should say. Firefly starting off 2-0 on a kind of an assassin jungler. Very nice position for him. His paranoia is about up, so he may be looking for another kill pretty soon. Maybe on the bot side, as we already see that Enrique and Alex are pressuring pretty hard on the bot side, able to get a kill onto the Holy Slurp. So Enrique, he has yet to go back after that. Actually, no, he just went back, coming back with a couple items. Going to begin trying to get that power spike. And of course, Chuck Normus, he's coming back with a pickaxe. So not opting for attack speed, which would be what a lot of times see ADCs go for. They get the BF sword and then something like a Zeal to help their attack speed and make use of the stats that they just got. But he's actually just going to go for raw power here. Flash on the top side.
With a flash again. Look at that. There's the paranoia coming down for Firefly. That's twice now that they've come to the top lane looking for a clean kill. But yeah, Route as well. They were so much quicker and cleaner on that one. Ion just rolled right through to it. And Boycold not been having the best start. He's up by 10 CS, but down by 2 kills, both of which have gone over to Firefly now. That's a 3-0-0 Nocturne. And he's definitely becoming the standout player of this game, the one to watch for sure, because that guy, that paranoia is already 1/4 off of cooldown. It's about a 2-minute cooldown there, so he'll have that option up pretty daggum soon.
Yeah, they didn't buff the cooldown on that, so that's just how it's working out right now for Firefly being in the right position.
Teleport's coming
in.
Time.
Teleport, yeah, on the backside. There's
backline. I don't think they see this one. Chuck Normus trying to get out. We'll see if he can. There's the ultimate. Pop from Tarek. They're going to get as much damage as they can down on the front end. It's a nice stop onto Alex, but he should get eaten up here regardless. The Tom Kench is tanky enough to make it happen, and look at that Enrique lining up the perfect 4th shot to make it all happen and to give himself the kill there. So he finds his 2nd kill of the game, and it's starting to look really good for George Mason.
Yeah, everybody who needs kills on George Mason are getting those kills. We already talked about Nocturne's Firefly's Nocturne. Enrique also doing very well. And Chuck Normus, he's going to use Ace in the Hole. Enrique, just let him go back. Who cares? They're kind of killing you in the lane anyways and pressuring you on the farm.
They want to find time for Jarvan here. That's
not going to happen though. He is too ready for it. Not to mention Alex was still there, can eat him up and actually spit him over the Cataclysm, I believe. So yeah, there's a lot of options there for the bot side of George Mason, and they have a lot of power. Actually, he's going to go ahead and buy the finish off the Essence Reaver. He's going to come back even more powerful. Enrique, great position on the bot side with Alex.
Yeah, seems to be the case for sure. So should be pretty interesting to watch this power continue to build up with the Essence Reaver now for Enrique and Alex. The Tom Kench has been very good aggressively, And that's always frightening to see, because when you see an aggressive Tahm Kench, it means that he's playing so well he doesn't need to be just full-on defensive peel machine for Enrique. But if they did need to default to that at any point, it would just be so much harder to kill this guy, especially with the options. It's really just Glory that can get to the back line. So George Mason setting themselves up pretty nicely here in this bot lane, as they are just timing around some things. It is another Infernal Drake coming up. It will be next on the docket. Don't remember the exact timer for that route. Potentially in some trouble again. Just going to walk out, has both summoners, and knew the minions were going to keep him safer than anything else there. So is not too worried about this one. They should be all well and good. Just a lot of posturing at this point. Both teams starting to think, okay, where's our next objective? Because the tower pushes just aren't online-wise, as far as itemization-wise goes. Yet, no towers have gone down. No one's even really expecting to start taking those towers or grouping when you don't have the items to just take us a couple. Hang on a second, Route in some trouble here. He's going to try to turn it around. There's the Paranoia, will save him.
Oh my god,
look
that
at
burst.
That. They want to turn that back in. This is a 3-kill Firefly. Tahm Kench is coming, but look at that. He goes a little hard, gets shut down. Now Glory's in some trouble. Should not be able to get out of this one alive, and Alex already has his sights onto Mr. Black Panda, who will go down in a double kill now. Enrique taking both of those. So the sacrificial lamb by name is Firefly, but it gets Enrique another 2 kills, and I think he'll take that trade any day.
So much global coordination from George Mason, able to use the Paranoia from Firefly from out of nowhere. Alex able to put Enrique inside his belly, bring him up into the mid lane as well, secure those kills. So even if you're fighting, if you're a lane, just one lane away, if you're Texas A&M and you know, trying to fight 1v1 or even 2v2, it's automatically going to be turned into at least a 4v whatever, because Enrique and Alex are going to be there waiting in the wings as well. Very nicely played by them. Nice coordination by George Mason, and they are having a pretty good early game right now. The Infernal Drake is going to be up in 30 seconds. They're definitely going to want that. Ion needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of minion damage here.
Absolutely. Fekaz, this is something we talked about in Champion Select. They've drafted themselves a hard-to-execute composition with the Paranoia now into, you know, the Tahm Kench Ultimate of that Abyssal Voyage. But when they can pull it off, it really works. The seconds were just a little bit off there. I don't think they expected Glory 9 to be just as potent and aggressive in the mid lane as he was. But, you know, they were a couple seconds off of bringing the Tahm Kench in. If they brought in Enrique and Alex just a little bit sooner, probably maybe could have saved Firefly in that particular instance, but it's all splitting hairs at this point. They should get this Infernal Drake pretty easily. It looks like they want to pull it out because there is Glory over the wall, still about 1,500 health on this thing. There's a J4 ultimate, not potential, I'm sorry, the Taric ultimate, and it's going to be coming through, and it's stolen by the Shockwave. Are you kidding me? Glory hopping over the wall, and it was the Shockwave to take it out. That is surprising to me, but all the same, they'll take it either way. Now it's an Infernal Drake apiece. We're still only about 1,000 gold between these teams. And Texas A&M says, look, you can't just take it all for free. They come back swinging a little bit.
Yeah, Texas A&M, they're going to keep themselves alive. It's not a huge loss of the, or gap as far as the gold right now. So Texas A&M, they have quite a bit of an opportunity to come back. And the mid lane is actually doing very well. Mr. Black Panda, 172 farm right now, 30 up over Enrique, or I'm sorry, Route, which actually 40 up over Enrique. Might as well say that as well. Whilst I'm getting the names going here. Mr. Black Panda, he's on his way to get a pretty nice power spike coming up in a few minutes. He already has his Seraph's Embrace, or his Archangel Staff, I should say. And building up toward his next item, has an Amplifying Tome, so that can build into quite a few things. Gank on the bot side, though.
Ooh, yeah, Paranoia just keeps coming through. Look at how low that health goes for Chuck Normus. They're going to try to snipe the back line, but I don't think they'll have it. Holy Slurp should be the one to fall. They have to break off now the curtain call.
Oh!
The ultimate coming through. Are you kidding me? Firefly gets cut up by a Shockwave again. And Mr. Black Panda is holding his team together in these extended fights. Holy Slurp now trying to get out of this one. Will not. Alex finds the kill credit in the supportal combat. Now they're trying to push on through. The siege is still alive coming out of the side of George Mason as they do want to take this tower. That is their chief goal here. The kills are great, but this is the breaking open the map portion that they're trying to find on their way out in the route. With a step back in, does find it and make sure that he can continue pushing on through this one.
Oh,
so
they're still going.
They want to find it. Ion, though, not respecting the flank, and Chuck Normus finds a huge kill there. Glory with the Cataclysm onto route gets himself in trouble, and Enrique goes unstoppable. So both supports and both ADs found themselves a kill that fight to make it a 2-for-2 overall. No, I'm sorry. No, it was only the support. Alex Slurp did not come away with anything there. I am mistaken. So
I mean, it's easy to be mistaken in that. It was kind of a fiesta on that one. fight.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a sloppy run down
Yeah.
by both teams, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but Route still wanting to, a little bit of something in the mid lane. He does have quite a nice bar of health over Mr. Black Panda in the mid lane. Black Panda does not have his heal. It'll be up in just a few seconds, maybe looking to bait that one out because Shockwave is back up.
And it does so much damage.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we saw that in the last game. He actually already has Seraph's Embrace powered up under 18 minutes, so he now has a big shield to work with as well as that heal.
Black Panda health bar very low, but we know that with the remaining members of his team just hanging around, it looks like Glory wants to go in onto Enrique. There is the defensive Tom Kench that we talked about. So Alex, the get out of jail free card there, and means that actually Glory might be in some trouble. Chuck Norris takes about half his health on the chin there. And all the while, they've just said, hey, Ione, it's not that big of a deal. We'll hold. You just keep that split push game rolling. Same thing for the top side, although Firefly can get in at most points with the paranoia.
Yeah, Glory pulling the trigger a little too early there. He does not have Cataclysm to work with on that extra combo to get that, especially get that electrocute off, but also to trap somebody in there. Enrique, he has been so safe in this game. 5-0-0 right now. Has his rapid fire cannon as well, in addition to that Essence Reaver that he built earlier. So he is staying on par in this game right now. And
yeah, and
help from Alex.
I believe the rapid fire cannon, that was buffed this particular patch, was it not?
It was, yeah, just a little bit. It did get, actually, if you give me a moment, I can look it up, because I actually forgot the exact amount. They did nerf the Static Shiv, but we're obviously not seeing that one. Maybe seeing that one from Chuck Norris. It's a little harder to clear with the Static Shiv, but the rapid fire cannon, yeah, you're right. It did get a little bit of a buff, along with a few other items, but it's mostly just the proc damage, and that was all it is from the Energize. So it's not a huge amount, but it is a little bit.
I want to keep talking items, actually, because that's a Dusk Blade of Drakthar built up now by Firefly. And potentially not the best as far as items go this time around, this particular patch. That did get beat up pretty heavily, so he should have a plan in mind with this. I think he has some kind of master plan working there, but we'll see what the case is. They're setting up for this Baron. 10 seconds until spawn, as we are getting just now to about the 20-minute mark, and still no team has been able to just find the overwhelming lead that we may be used to at this point. Game could still very much go either way, although it is undeniable the favor and flow is in hands of George Mason right now, as they are continuing the split push onto the bot side. And as teleport comes up fairly soon, that should help them pretty well with any Baron opportunities they may want to find.
Yeah, Rift Herald was not taking this game, which is something we also are not used to seeing. We do see a lot of prioritization going into that, but these team fights have been, again, kind of interesting on both sides. Very elongated. We have another team fight. Well, not a team fight, a catch.
No, it's a gank coming down onto Ione. The ultimate is there, but look at
Voyage.
that. Alex and Enrique are coming in. We'll see if they can do anything to turn it around.
Oh boy.
At a minimum, they got out for Firefly. He's in. He wants it. The shockwave. He flashes out of it just in time. And now Boycold potentially in trouble. Alex has to pop the shield, and he will flash out of that one and be okay. Enrique finding his 6th kill of the game and buys time for the tower to go down, as Route was nowhere near that mess. And it was scrappy, but it was George Mason coming away with a kill and tower to boot, saving the split push of Ione there, who actually found himself in some trouble. So it was great reactive play and netting themselves a tower for it too. I love it.
Yeah, Route just split pushing that entire time, but he may be getting caught here.
Yeah, you know what? He's got to get out of that one. Does have the flash, the heal's there, but he doesn't.
Are you serious?
Because he's not going to. Are you kidding me? Wait a second. How did he turn that one and live? They did not follow through with enough there from the side of Texas A&M.
That's got to hurt.
Right. I mean, we knew the heal was going to be important there, but to actually save his life, I was convinced he was dead. So good for him to prove me wrong. Never say die. Traditional Goonie spirit. But now we'll see what it means for the implications of this dragon.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting that he did take that take the heal. Obviously, it's paying off because the heal got nerfed a little bit with the cooldown reduction. It's actually 30 seconds longer to come back on par now, or on course here. But I have a lot of contention around this Drake. This being the 3rd and final Infernal Drake. So definitely a huge point of contention for both teams. We haven't engaged. Oh my god.
Look at that wombo combo. They do hold off with the shockwave for a little bit, and it will find Firefly, but is it enough? That is the question on everyone's mind. The teleport coming down. Enrique sends a parting gift to Holy Slurp, and he goes slurp back down to the bot lane. Now look at this. They've canceled Boy Cold's teleport. He's staying top side, so they have to hold that one through. They possibly will lose a tower. Now it's imperative for George Mason that they get this Infernal Drake. They might want the mid lane tower first, and they seem to be scrambling a bit around this. And all the while, Boy Cold is just going to be able to chip away at this tower, find the Aggies, their first one of the game. Still staying relevant, albeit enough 3K behind still. We've not seen a huge shakeup there. But this does mean third Infernal going now over to the side of George Mason. I don't think Glory can steal. Yeah, he has to flag and drag away just to make sure Route doesn't get the kill. So it's 2 Infernal Drakes to 1. That will be the final docket on that particular Flaming Drake. And now it is just the Ocean coming up potentially. So we'll see what they decide to do with that one. As we're getting around the point in the game where 1 Infernal Drake makes a difference, but 2 is going to be pretty tough to deal with.
Yeah, that's yeah. The longer this game goes on, the more relevant those Infernal Drakes are going to be, especially when you have 2 of them empowering you. Again, percent increase on the damage for both physical and magic. Not true, of course, but physical and magic, and that is going to be huge for George Mason. Look at the items of Firefly. So, so the new patch, Dustblade got nerfed pretty hard. It's not a huge relevance right now, but Firefly, he doesn't seem to care. He's going to build that one anyways. One thing that it did do, though, that may be coming into play once we start looking around the Baron Pit, is whenever it detects a ward, you can instantly kill the ward. You all have to auto attack it once instead of 3 times or 4 times for the control ward, and it does instantly take out a ward, which is really good for obviously for vision control, for map control of a specific area. And again, specifically, I'm talking about Baron, because that is going to be the next objective these 2 teams are going to be fighting over more than likely.
Yeah, especially having both those side lane towers down is going to give a lot of potential to the side of George Mason around these 2 pit objectives. Now, Baron has been up for a few minutes here, and the vision has gone down, but neither team feels ready to make it happen. I feel like they're waiting for both of their ADs to come online a little bit more. Now, Enrique, especially with the tank line of Alex and Ione, are going to feel pretty good about that one. But it would definitely be an instance where the rest of the Aggies are most likely dead to a team fight before Baron really comes out in a way, especially as good as A&M's vision control has been around this Baron. So George Mason are putting up quite the fight for them so far. They're still maintaining a decent gold lead. They're only up the 1 tower, and they want to find this mid lane, but it's just been so tough for them thus far. And they're putting a lot onto the split push of Ione.
Yeah, they are relying on him. He does have the teleport up. Boy Cold does not right now, but he also has Cannon Barrage up, so he can help out from across map plays with his Cannon Barrage. And yeah, both teams want to focus in onto these mid lane turrets because that's what really blows the map open. Neither team is taking the mid lane turret, but we may be seeing something here. Enrique caught.
Oh, Enrique, he was alone. He has to flash out of that one, and look at that. They left him for a second, and Glory said, I will find that and take advantage of it. So now Enrique without the flash, that's going to feel pretty good. They don't necessarily need the Cataclysm to keep this guy in trouble, as there are options there. If they caught him down with the Cannon Barrage, a potential Shockwave as well, they could end his life before he even got a chance to get some damage out. So having that flash down, very big. Now Firefly, we've seen him get aggressive on some people before. He knows he's got a lot of burst damage.
Teleport!
And then he sustained. Now look at that. He wants to go in. It will be coming down now onto the very near-sighted Mr. Black Panda, but look at that. Firefly yet again getting his health bar taken out immediately by some burst damage, and that's just been the story of every engage. Now Black Panda just barely saved out by the Taric ultimate, but it does not last long enough, and that means he will go down to Route, and Alex is there trying to find the damage in as the flash out, and all the while Ione and Boy Cold are strapping it out in the mid lane favor to Ione. And just like that though, reset, taking a kill apiece. Black Panda got one now onto Firefly and did get traded over actually onto Route. So both mid laners getting the kill for themselves. Route going to feel pretty good about that one, I think, as it is his first of the game. And it gives ward priority, reset potential to Baron, but Route in some trouble here. He flashes to try to get away to Chuck Normus, and look at that. There's the Abyssal Voyage yet again. Alex is here. Enrique, potentially the bigger visitor in this lane, and now Holy Slurp is going to go down for sure. Route taking the second kill there as both carries get a little bit of a dip into that gold pot, so they're going to be feeling amazing from that one. Such good play coming out from Alex on the Tahm Kench to be bringing in the fight wherever it's needed, and from downtown comes Firefly. Paranoia. not even giving Boy Cold time to be paranoid. He's just dead instantly. This is Baron priority. We'll see if Glory and Black Panda
Oh no, what are you doing, bro?
or if they get burst out on the face check. He is rooted up and will go down for sure here. Enrique only takes 2 shots to do it. 3rd and 4th, not even gonna matter. And just like that, that's 35 seconds dead on the jungler. They bought enough time for Normus and Slurp to come back up. So Baron, a little riskier from the side of George Mason. But all those picks have stretched the gold lead here to 5K. And I don't think they need Baron to feel great about that one.
No, not at all. We actually have a lot to talk about because that was some very elongated fights coming out on both sides of the map. But yeah, they wanted to respect. I mean, George Mason wants to go back. They respect Mr. Black Panda. He was there. He has Shockwave. They respect the amount of power that he can dish out right now. Has the Morellonomicon and the Seraph's Embrace, so doesn't want to get caught by any of that. And they had relatively low health bars and really nothing as far as ultimates to back up their Baron contention. So just going to play it safe, clear out wards, take the kills, go back, spend that money, come back a little bit stronger. But we did see Route come online there. I mean, obviously he's been online. It just took a team fight to really show that. But we're seeing how dangerous he is in those narrow areas as Chuck Normus is caught again.
Yeah, that's big. Ion comes in. Gnar actually getting a favor from Glory there because the Cataclysm likely killed Chuck Normus.
That was sad.
Ouch. That is not the way you want to play as a team. That's going to hurt. It's going to take some time to reset, but, hopefully they all maintain level heads about it.
Right.
Will likely be the Baron coming out now.
And that little... Oh, go on.
No, that's the thought. It should likely be the Baron.
Barring
another fight here.
More than likely, yeah. We are seeing the power of the rapid fire cannon on Enrique, but another team catch here.
Oh no. Yeah, look at that. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He's over the wall, but insane. He still died. They got him. And now Slurp, gets taken down as well in some sharp play by Ion. Baron for sure. George Mason have taken commanding control of this game.
And I was mentioning that we are now seeing the effectiveness of rapid fire cannon on Enrique, even without the buff that it got, which is it's a minor buff, but it is a typical item on Jhin because he can get that. If you don't get the empowered 4th shot, or any of the empowered shots on anything prior to the 4th, you do get that empowered 4th shot that is a little bit longer of a distance because of the rapid fire cannon passive, increasing your attack range. But overall, it allows Enrique to be so safe and still dish out damage. He's playing extremely safe. 11-0-1 right now on Enrique. That guy is a monster. Insane is somehow an understatement in this case. I don't know how we can even compliment him any more than that, but he does deserve it because he is so huge right now. And I can't even say that he's putting this game on his back because the entirety of George Mason is doing amazing. Alex, he hasn't died once either. He's been there the entire time with Enrique, not leaving his side whatsoever.
Alex has been the standout player for me here because every time, no matter who the player is, yeah, it doesn't matter who the player is, every time you see somebody, kind of up the creek without a paddle, it is Alex coming to save the day, often bringing a friend, whether it be Enrique or Route, potentially even Firefly. I think we saw him ride the Tom train once or twice this game. Just insane. I mean, I really do have to commend Alex's play here. I doubt against Tom Kench. Again, I doubt that Boy Cold will get out of this one. He is taken down out and away.
There's Abyssal Voyage again.
Can salvage anything again. Yeah, there is Alex, and look at that. The double kill comes down. Now it is turned around potentially. Black Panda finds himself yet another kill out of Firefly. It seems to be that Firefly countered pretty hard by Black Panda. He's had his number all game, but it's not been enough to tip the scales of the team game as a whole. And so now Baron minions should be joining them pretty shortly. They could set up an elongated siege. They may just try to reset, get their wards down, find what they can in the vision game here, and potentially pick up some much needed buys. There's a lot of gold there. Route sitting on almost 3K. Big spending day coming out from Ion as well. So we'll see what happens, especially because they should be able to take this mid lane tower.
Yeah, and very easily. An empowered 4th shot from Enrique is going to almost half health the turret at this point with how much power he has behind him. Actually, he has 14K this entire game, only followed very closely by Route. Route's actually not doing too bad either as far as gold standards go. He had got first blooded, but since then, he has been staying safe in lane, has only died that one time, and he's been farming like a madman. 312 right now. Yeah, best CS in the game. He's staying right behind Enrique in the farm, despite Enrique being 11-0-2. Route is coming online. He's already come online. We already talked about
Yeah.
that. Route has been doing great with his gold
He's
gold
been
ventures as
online.
well.
He's upgraded from dial up to now fiber.
Yeah.
He's moving. I will say this: 312 CS. I know you're looking. You're like, okay, it's 32 minutes. That might not be the most impressive thing in the world to you, but keep
10
in
CS a minute.
mind. Well, yeah, keep in mind too just how intense the fights and the scrappiness has been this game, and
Yeah.
how he's looked to find all these kills regardless at the same time as he picks up another one as two more go over to Firefly and Ion at the same time.
Woo!
And now look at that Black Panda, nowhere to go. Means Holy Slurp, the last one alive for his team, and he's just on the run at this point. Round will find him, take him down individually while his team finds the tower, the inhibitor to loot next, and Becca, this could be the game. They have the minions here.
Oh, this is definitely the game. Yeah, definitely the game. Especially with Enrique having those empowered shots, he is going to obliterate towers, no problem. Route, he has Lichbane to also do that. No contention on this one. Easy game number 1 for George Mason. At least they made it look easy. That first blood was very impressive by Glory, but it was not enough to really do anything to set their team far enough ahead. Very impressive. And I interviewed University of Texas Austin's coach yesterday on Ward Up. Go check that out on youtube.com/tstarly, of course. But he said, I did ask them, if you make it to the finals, if you make it past Dallas tomorrow, who do you want to play? He said probably George Mason. He said it was a very hard decision, but he leaned toward George Mason. I think if he's looking at this game, he may want to reverse that decision right now.
Yeah, maybe not.